Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we are discussing Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. I lost the physical book, which is great. So I ended up getting on iBooks and on Audible because I started it on iBooks and I finished it on audiobook. And this is what happens when I'm traveling and reading simultaneously. So this month I was working with Penguin. Kids of Appetite is a contemporary and it takes place in my home state of New Jersey. It's rare that I get to read a book that takes place in New Jersey. It doesn't take place like in my town, but it takes place in Hoboken and West Milford, which is pretty much right outside of New York City. And it's a really different sort of contemporary. It's about this band of orphans who have come together to help each other live life. And this group calls themselves the Kids of Appetite, and Vic, our lead character, ends up joining this group. He still lives with his mom, but his father died 2 years ago. His mom might be remarrying soon, and he's having a really hard time dealing with this, so he runs away. And he ends up with this interesting group of kids. And they're not all kids. The oldest is in his 20s, and he's kind of the leader of the group. But the youngest is 11, and her name is Coco, and she has a New York accent, and it's really funny in the audiobook. Side note, if you don't know, I'm an Audible affiliate, and if you want to sign up with my link in the description, you get your first book for free, which is super cool. The story is told from dual points of view, one of them being Vic, and then the other being Mad, who is our lead female character. She's 18, and she lives with this group of kids, the Kids of Appetite. I really enjoyed the way the story was laid out. We start in an interrogation room in a police station, hearing from both our main character Vic and our main character Mad, and they start telling the story to the police officer, and then we see the story that started a week ago. And there's this whole air of mystery to like what happened because they're in a police station, what's going on, and it unravels really nicely, and it's told in a very interesting prose. I just found the voice of Vic to be a very different headspace to be in. The way he sees the world sometimes is really unique. He has this way of relating everything to sideways hugs, and I love it. I'd give Kids of Appetite 4 stars on Goodreads. From a reader's point of view, I really enjoyed how different it was. Always nice to read something like that where you feel like you've gained new perspective from walking in the shoes of different people and different lives. And that's all I can really say without spoiling you. If any of this sounds interesting to you, I definitely recommend giving it a read. That's it for the non-spoilery section. Bye if you haven't read it yet. Goodbye. Okay. I love that last section of the book where he calls Frank to pick up him and Matt at the police station, and they go to the top of Rockefeller Center. They go to find his mom, and that kid asks Vic what's wrong with his face, and he talks to him straight about how this is just something he's born with and there's nothing wrong with his face. And Mad was talking about how she started crying, and I was like, yeah, why are you crying? And then a second later, listening to their conversation, I started crying. I didn't feel that emotionally invested up until that point. Then when he talked to his mom, and his mom said that you're everything, and if you don't want me to marry Frank, I won't marry him. And when she said that she knew him and knew that he would go to find the list, she, went to the different places that we went, but then she skipped ahead and stayed at the observatory every day all the way till midnight till they kicked her out. All of a sudden, I was crying. It was just a really nice moment between the two of them to go to this last place together and try to move forward through the grieving process together. It was really, really nice. And Vic's thoughts, thinking about the idea of how his parents had a life before him and he really knows nothing about it. It's such a weird realization, and I think we all have it at some point. All of a sudden you're like, wow, I know nothing about my mom's high school years. I know nothing about my dad's high school years other than like the 2 stories he's told me. Who did they date? Did they ever like almost get married before this? What was their life like? What momentous points did they have in their relationship before me? And it was really cool seeing that explored in this story. Like, he's basically moving through a scrapbook of these important milestones in their relationship, and then his mom tells him that, he's the most important thing now. He was the next milestone for them. Him. And Frank seems like, a nice enough guy. He tried. I really appreciated the little nod to each other they had at the end. As far as the other Kids of Appetite, Coco was a fun character. I enjoyed her raps, and I was horrified by Mad's entire situation. I can't imagine being dropped into her life. It's really, really amazing that she has maintained herself as much as she has at this point. The scene where Vic followed her to her house and watched her uncle smash the TV. Oh, that whole situation was really scary and upsetting. And I hope moving forward, things are okay for her and she quits smoking. I was nervous for her the whole time. At one point in the book, there's a point where you realize, like, this is Baz's book, and I really enjoyed that whole full circleness of the story. At the beginning, when he was calling people chapters, I was thinking he meant like chapters and I don't know, some sort of a gang, but then it clicked 3/4 of the way through, maybe a little before that. This is Baz's book. I would love to hear your thoughts. Which point of view in the story was your favorite? I think I definitely enjoyed Vic's voice a little more than Mads. I'm Christine. I make videos every Tuesday. I'm at XTINEMAY on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye!